So I saw a video online of somebody basically running through a golf hole in an event that they played in, and I thought it was quite a good idea, so I thought I'd do my own version. So this was a course that I caddied, event I caddied in last year for a friend of mine, Will. It was at Lumini Hills course. So I'll just give you a quick run through of how we'd go about playing it and what we'd plan for and factor in. So first things first, really, we'd be looking at where do we want to hit off the tee into a spot which will give us a good chance at getting to the green in 2, as it's a par 5. So what we have on the bottom of the course planners is usually a photo of what you'd see off the tee, and you get various bits on the bottom which will give you different distances to different points. So for example, if we just take this A here on the bottom and this dotted line, if we follow that up now onto the course planner, we have this A and the number is 283 to run out of fairway on this A line. So if we hit it down this line, the run out of the fairway would be 283 yards minus we also have slope on here, so elevation, plus or minus, so it's actually playing to this point 1 yard downhill, so we'd take that off 2, so we'd have 282 to run out of fairway. If we hit it to that exact point, it would leave us 245 to the front of the green. So we can start adding these bits together and create a visual image of the hole and how we want to play it. Will hits it quite a decent distance with his driver, so maybe 300 plus. So the first thing that I'd be looking for really is an aggressive drive for him, which will allow him to hit the green in 2. So the first number which points out for me is this yellow cross here. So it's 300 yards to that point minus the slope, so 299 to that point, and that would leave us 219 yards to the front of the green. So if we're trying to create a line now to hit this perfect drive onto this yellow cross, we'd be maybe taking a look at the photo in the bottom to try and pick a good line for us. So if we go off this B now, and if we spin the course plan around a bit, if we hit it just to the left side of this tree, we'd end up just missing the bunker on the right, so that wouldn't be too bad. Ideally, we want to be a touch right of that to get into the middle of the fairway. So we might pick a line out which is right side of the bunker to maybe this tree trunk here, and that would be our perfect tee shot. So we've created a line now, or a hitting zone for him to hit into. The other things we've got to factor in is wind direction. So one thing that I'd always do when preparing to play a hole is get the local weather app and look at wind direction. Obviously it changes, but we'd be trying to create as much understanding as we can for the wind and other elements. So for example, here I've obviously noted down prior to playing the wind direction off the local weather app. So we've got a northwest wind here in one of the rounds. I've just done a dot here from the direction, and then one of the other rounds it would have been north, so into out the left both times. Another thing to mention, if we're looking at a run out to these bunkers, so for example the 289 one minus the slope, sometimes the tee is put forward, so all these distances are taken from right off the back edge of this tee box. So sometimes the tee's usually obviously put forward from this, so maybe 5 paces forward from the spot where the distances have been taken. So we'd have to take how many paces off the distance as well. For example, Will ends up hitting a perfect drive down here, right onto this yellow cross, which leaves him 219 to the front of the green. What do we do now? So 219 to the front. What we factor in now is the pin position on the green, so how far the pin is on. So we'd maybe skip forward to a bit forward in the course planner now, and then we pull our pin sheet in here as well. So what have we got here? So the 11th, the pin was 32 yards on, and 6 from the right. I've probably already got a cross in there somewhere, yeah. So how we actually map this out on the course planner, all these squares equal 5 yards. On the left there it says, so I'd get 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 30. So 30 yards, 32 yards, so roughly 2 from there, and then we go 6 yards from the right as well. So now we have a placement of exactly where the pin is on the green, and you also get slopes, but we'll get to that now. So we figured out that it's 219 to the front of the green. What we do now, we have to add the 32 on from that. So that gives us 251. And what we also have to factor in now is that the elevation too. So now we have, from this position, we have a shaded number there, which is -5. So now the distance from this point to the green is playing 5 yards downhill. So we have to take that off too. So we've got 219 plus the 32, which is 251, and then we take the slope off, which is 246. So without any wind, the playing distance now exactly to the pin is 246 yards, and then we're able to come up with deciding on a club to hit to get it obviously as close as we possibly can to that flag. What we'd also be factoring in now, now we're looking at our approach to the green, is the best position we can leave this ball to give us the best chance at holing a putt for eagle, or maybe the best position we can leave it, because it's still a decent way in there, 246. Maybe making a birdie, or getting, if we miss the green, getting it down in 2. So, for example, if the pin was where we've marked out there, 32 yards on 6 from the right, you can clearly see that all these little arrows here is the slope on the green. So you can see that it slopes to the left and down at the front. So an ideal miss, if we're going to miss the green, would obviously be on the left, and if we were going to hit the green, it would still be left of that flag. It's player preference here, so ideally what everyone wants is an uphill putt. So we'd be trying to hit it, I don't know, maybe left side of that green if we could. The bunker, if we were to miss, wouldn't be a bad spot as we're playing up the green. What I also like to do is, during the tournament, is take some notes down of how we've played the hole during the tournament. So, for example, you get a note section here, and I like to just note down how we've played the hole throughout the week. So, rounds 1 and 4 I've noted there. There wouldn't have been a round 2 and 3 on this golf course, as there was 2. So it would have been on a different course. So, for example, round 1, we had 250. We'll hit it 250 in. So we would have been around this point. So it would have been quite severely into wind to not make these hitting distances. So yeah, it's quite good section here to write down how you've played the hole. Round 4, hit it a bit further up, I think, but I think we were blocked out as we had to lay up and hit a wedge in. So I think we were blocked out by these trees. Also important to note in this event that you're not allowed to use any distance measuring devices, so you have to use the course guide. So, for example, if you had an approach and you were in between these dots that are marked on the fairways, you have to pace it. So, for example, if we hit it here, we'd maybe pace from the 140 dot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paces it might be, and then we'd be able to come up with a number there. So there is no Bushnell, so you have to use the course planners. So I hope this helps a few of you guys when trying to plan. I don't know, maybe you're going away to play a tournament or a competition at a golf course you've never played before. It can be a really good way to set up a game plan of how you're gonna play a golf course. And I think it makes it easier, really, instead of getting to a course and having no idea of how to play it. Sometimes you might get a lot of blind shots. It can really give you an understanding of the golf course and different ways to play it as well. Next video, I'm going to do one on a golf course fairly local to me, so at Little Aston, so it might have some relevance to a lot of you guys that are playing playing these type of golf courses where you don't get as much detail in the course planner. So for example, this hole, I'll do a video on this hole next, which is the 18th at Little Aston. So this is more the type of course planner that you'd get around local golf courses. So it can, I'll run through the 18th hole and how maybe you come up with a game plan of how a general club golfer might play it, and how you can pick different parts out of the course planner to help you play the hole and get the most out of it. Any questions that need answering on this video, feel free to drop a comment or drop me a message and I'll get back to you. I hope this helps you, and I look forward to doing the next video for you.